Welcome back to Cigar Exploration USA. I'm excited to be here today, but by the looks of things, who wouldn't be? So this is what we're going to be smoking today. We've got this GURKHA. This is their bourbon cigar. I'm tempted to say bourbon infused cigar, but I don't know that that's necessarily true. The only thing I can find about this cigar online is that when you open this glass tube, it is absolutely phenomenal smelling. So we're going to find out right now. Let's get it opened up. It is one of those crazy wax seals. Let's see if we can do this in one shot. It peels off here. I've had one of these before, not this bourbon one. I had a rum infused GURKHA before. It was real good. So it just has that little pull top, and then you've got this plastic cap in here. Kind of see there, it's sealed real good in wax. Okay, you got a little piece of foam in here as well. Piece of foam, maybe making sure the cigar isn't bouncing around in there. So this looks like a Toro size. Yeah, you can really smell the sweetness of the bourbon on here. So there's only two sizes. There's a Toro and a Churchill. The Toro comes in a Connecticut shade wrapper, and the Churchill is in a Maduro. So I figure if we're gonna smoke some bourbon cigar from GURKHA, we should start with the Connecticut. It smells, I can smell it from all the way back here, from a 1.5 feet away from my face. It smells so good. I'm gonna drink it with this, or smoke it with this Thomas S. More Cognac Cask finish. I'm gonna talk about all three of these. I'm hoping this Cognac one lives up to the hype. I've heard really good things about it. All right, so while we're enjoying the smell of this cigar, and I wish you guys could smell it, I'm gonna get this bourbon opened up right away and put in a glass, so that we can get right to it. So this also has kind of a peel pull top. Pull that right off of there. Plastic cap on here. Sorry, it's not plastic, it's tin foil. It's like a tin cap with the horse. It's pretty, just crumples up. And then it's got the same situation going on the top here before you pull the cork. There's the bottle. Obviously you can check these things out online if you want to see these bottles up close. All right, cork pull, pretty good. It's got a real cork. It smells really good. You can really smell the cognac. I'm not a giant cognac fan, but I certainly can get down with some cognac infused bourbon here. So here we go, got the glug glug going on. Let's get a good pour in the glass here. 2.5 ounces. All right, get the cork back in this guy. So you got a whole big storybook on the back here. 93.4 proof. Each one of these cask finish Thomas S. Moores has a different proof as well. Pretty interesting. So they're actually putting the 5 to 7 year old 1792 bourbon into the actual cask. So a cask that had cognac, a cask that had sherry, and a cask that had Chardonnay in it. So I'm gonna put a straight cut on this cigar. It smells sweet. It smells like chewing tobacco. Hay. It's got the kind of barnyardy kind of smell going on. It smells good. All right, we're gonna get a nice straight cut on here. I'm just gonna nip this cap off real carefully. I had a cigar I was smoking on my channel at an Eagles. You can see here I barely even got any tobacco in there. It's just the cap, which I think is how you want to do it. Big V-cut guy, but you know, I like straight cuts sometimes. I feel like this is a straight cut cigar. Okay, so it actually tastes like bourbon, and for lack of a better way to describe this, it's kind of wet tasting. When you pull on it, you get like almost what feels like moisture in your mouth. It's interesting. All right, let's put this down here. We got no room today. I'm gonna put this down here as well and get rid of this tube. So you could reuse this for another cigar if you wanted to. If you wanted to travel with it. It's glass. Just gonna throw everything on the ground today. All right, let's get it lit up, get it toasted first. What are you guys drinking? What are you guys smoking? Me a comment if you've ever had any of these Thomas S. Moores, if you've had any of these Gurkhas. I had the Gurkha that I had was the Abu Leho, which is a rum infused. Back to my story about the tailgate. So I had someone hand me what I thought might have been a real Cuban, a Cohiba, exquisite or exquisial, or but when they handed it to me, they didn't know me. They just said, "Does anybody want a cigar? Or who smokes cigars?" Or however they said it. And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take a cigar. I love cigars." And they didn't know me, so they cut it. And when they cut it, they just cut the whole cap off, like an inch of it, at least, maybe two. I mean, it was so bad. I don't know what this person was doing. And then I saw them later on. They were smoking their cigar, and the whole end was falling apart. And then they just were cutting it. Like I saw them cut their cigar at least 2 more times after the initial cut. To I guess in their mind, stop it from falling apart. But once you cut it past the cap, everybody knows, you know, it's done for. I highly suggest that for people that don't know how or don't want to cut a cigar the way I just did with a straight cutter, just put a V cut or a punch cut in it. You really can't screw up a V cut. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble. And I didn't want to say anything to this person. They were a pretty busy person at this tailgate, pretty popular person. I didn't want to say anything to them and say, hey, you know, check out this V cutter. Maybe, you know, there's a lot of alcohol at these tailgates as well. So it smells so sweet. Yeah, it smells so good. I love Gurkhas, so I don't expect to be disappointed by this cigar. I also don't expect to be really blown away by it. I'm hoping that the cognac cask finish bourbon steals the show today. All right, so it's not sweet like a, kind of tastes like cereal a little bit, like sweet cereal. It's not sweet like an infused cigar, like an acid or, you know, God forbid, a Tatiana or something. You're just getting a little bit of touch on there. And it hangs around. You get it right away, and then it hangs, and then it sort of slowly fades. But even just now, it's still in the back of my throat, back of my tongue. It says Hartfield and Company, a bourbon company. It says selection, private selection. I don't know how well you'll be able to see the cigar band on here. It's real pretty. Has that scary guy on it, like they all do. I paid $11 for this cigar at my new favorite cigar shop. Talked about it on other channels. I mean, in other videos. So $11 for a Toro isn't cheap. It's a little gimmicky, obviously, with the bourbon situation going on. But I thought, if I'm gonna put 3 bottles of bourbon on the table in this video, this would be the right cigar to smoke with it. So it's very mild, and you don't get a whole lot other than that sort of sweet touch of bourbon, sweetened cereal, tobacco, getting kind of like some wood as well, like maybe oak. But I don't think this is going to be one of those cigars that you'll be running out to grab. If you like this type of cigar, if you like Gurkhas, and you like milder, sort of not infused, but I hate to use the word gimmicky, but it's a little gimmicky. Glass tube's nice though, because with that Abu Leho, I was wondering if the cigar was going to be stale, and when I bought this one, I wasn't worried, because it's not. It's drawn perfectly. The burn line's a little off. It's not perfect. It's got that Connecticut wrapper. It's nice and smooth and creamy. But it's a very mild cigar. On the retro, you get more of that creamy, sort of sweet oak cereal kind of vibes. I suspect that the sweet cerealness is going to kind of dissipate a little bit as I go. I'm barely an inch in this thing. Yeah, it is good though. All right, let's put that down for a second. I just have no room here. All right, so I'll be able to tell instantly. You don't have to stay much longer for this if you don't want to. As soon as I put this in my mouth, I'll be able to tell. Because the sherry cask was the best one out of all these Thomas Essmores. I've tried even more than these two and now three. These two were my favorite though so far. Even the Chardonnay, I did a exploration of that in a short on this channel, and Chardonnay, sorry, and I kind of said it wasn't that great. It opened up tremendously, and it's really good. So these two, highly recommended. I brought a glass out. I may drink some of those if anybody's here while I'm doing that, but we're gonna try the cognac right now. These two are phenomenal. I got this one, I got the Chardonnay for 35 and the sherry cask for 45. They're both regularly 45. The Chardonnay was on sale. Cognac full price 45. Wow. Holy smokes. You get tons of sweetness, brown sugar, raisins, like toffee, caramel, vanilla, like more than just raisin, all kinds of fruit, like red fruits. Oh wow, this is gonna take some time. I'm getting citrus now, I'm getting orange. Whew. It's not, when I'm doing that, it's not bad on the nose. It's not too harsh on the nose. It's just blowing me away. I think this thing's gonna be pretty good. Holy, like apricot, oranges, raisins, other stuff. Maybe even cherry in the back. It's got a good mouthfeel. It's nice and thick. It's nice and viscous, like it should be. In my opinion, especially finished bourbons should absolutely have a good mouthfeel. These two deliver on that 100%. All right, let's try this cigar with it. Oh, wow. What a pair. Couldn't ask for a nicer pair right now or a nicer day. I mean, we're only halfway through September and fall has come early this year. It's so nice out. It's like 70 degrees out, 75. It's beautiful out here. And it's just amazing how much the sun has moved in the sky and changed. Or actually, it didn't move. We did. Earth did. But it's the early afternoon is now mid-afternoon, and you know, evenings are non-existent. It just goes from day to night. So we got a little issue with the burn line on here. I mean, I don't see any big deal. I'm not going to touch it up, but I am gonna ash it though. See, the ash is kind of exploding. So instead of wearing it, I'm just gonna ash it. Not the greatest ash, not the greatest burn line. I say everything else is fine. It's probably about a $7 or $8 cigar though, not an $11 cigar, but take it for what it's worth. Like I said, if you're into the little kind of gimmicky thing, maybe it's worth $11 for you. Wow, just the citrus on there. The citrus is amazing. It's so citrusy. I'm trying to think last time I drank cognac. Did cognac have a lot of citrus? You know, and cognac comes from the Cognac region of France. So I'm assuming it was aged in a French cognac barrel, because I don't know how else you could call it cognac. You'd have to call it brandy or fortified wine or something along those lines. Not having any draw issues with this cigar, but it's kind of barely staying lit. Pretty interesting. All right, let me get a little bit of this in the glass as well. Let's start with the Chardonnay. Start with the Chardonnay because I think the sherry cask was a little bit better than the Chardonnay. The color looks really, really similar. If anything, I'd say the Chardonnay is darker somehow. Chardonnay really caught me by surprise. I only bought it because it was on sale for $35, and I thought, it's still bourbon. You know, it's still from a great distiller, 1792. You know, this is their premium line or whatever. I've talked about it. I thought, worst case scenario, I have something interesting. You know, Chardonnay. I've never had a Chardonnay cask finished bourbon in my life. Figured I had something interesting, and if it's good, wow, you know, and it turned out to be really good. I kind of took a shit on it when I first drank it, and then it's opened up in the bottle tremendously. All right, so let's try the Chardonnay. I just can't believe how good that is. It's very winey. It's got a lot of wine forwardness to it. If you don't like Chardonnay, I don't think you'll like this bourbon. I don't like Chardonnay. I don't drink Chardonnay. But I've had it. I used to be big into wine, and I never hated good Chardonnay. It just wasn't something I reached for. I always went for red wine. But I had a mentor who was really into wine, and he was really into Chardonnay. And he used to drink expensive Chardonnay. And I can see really liking Chardonnay, really digging it. If, especially if you're drinking the really buttery, good stuff. Anybody out there that likes Chardonnay, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about it. I mean, this is a close one, honestly. I know the sherry's gonna win. If we're doing a competitive analysis here, the sherry's gonna win. But the Chardonnay just holds its own against the cognac. It's amazing. Wow, that is truly amazing. That Chardonnay is something else. They're both really good though, don't get me wrong. If you can get them for less than $45, I say absolutely buy any of them you see. They have a Merlot, a Cabernet, a Port. I have a friend who has those. So I have these three, he has those three. So that's how I tried them, and they're fine. I don't think they're as good as the sherry or the Chardonnay. And the cognac might be third here. That's what I'm thinking maybe. Maybe that's the order we're going in. I don't know. Because if this opens up like that opened up, then I gotta talk about it later on at another point and go, now that's number one. Hopefully that's what happens. I would love it if that's what happened. So the cigar's pretty consistent though. There's nothing inconsistent about it. That sweet cerealness is still there. You know, a third in. Everything seems pretty normal with this cigar. I think that Abulejo, that rum one, was better though. I'm pretty sure. Again, without it being side by side, just because I remember that thing being just really unique. And I think that was a Churchill, not that that would make a difference. Other than the wrapper, the leaf on it's gonna make a difference. Yeah, this is a nice, smooth, creamy, you know, cigar with a Connecticut wrapper on it. That has a little bit of a gimmicky, kind of a bourbony sweetness to it. You know, nothing crazy at all. All right, so that's Chardonnay on the nose. Just super winey and sweet. Cognac, super fruity and sweet. And then the sherry cask is just gonna take that fruit to another level. I'm comfortable using the same glass, considering I've drank both these. Yeah, this stuff is just out there. So sherry cask 98.7 proof. I believe that's the highest proof out of any of them. The Chardonnay is 97.9. Okay, so you were close. Chardonnay is close. And then your Cognac is your 93.4, which surprises me, right? Because Cognac is a spirit, and these two are wine. Anybody know anything? Because you'd think the Cognac would have a higher proof. It's pulling the Cognac out of the barrel walls, right? Cognac is 80 proof, most of them that I've ever seen. Most wines are what, 15% at the most? 14 something, 14 and a half usually. Keeping my streak alive of not letting a cigar go out on my video. This one's a tough one though. Maybe because it has bourbon in it, and I have to assume that they actually put bourbon in it when they rolled it, or they wouldn't be able to say it was a bourbon cigar. And from the cold draw with the moisture I told you I got like a moisture feeling in my mouth. That's probably why this cigar is having trouble staying lit. You know, it could be overly humidified, being that it was in the tube, has no room to breathe. Leave me a comment about that. Should I take cigars out of tubes ahead of time? Am I doing the wrong thing by pulling that right out of the tube and lighting it up? Would this be better if it was in the humidor for, you know, weeks before I smoked it? Am I doing myself a disservice? Probably, right? All right, so we're gonna do this. I'll probably have to take a nap after I make this video. All right, let's do the Cognac first. Try that. Whew, that nose. What is that? What am I getting now? It's just so much fruit. I can't, my brain's just firing fruit. Dried fruits, you know, ripe fruit. Like it's just in a cornucopia of fruits. This is definitely second best upon opening. The sherry's just been one on opening, one now. And I don't even need to drink it to know it's the best one. Let's do the color comparison on these two. See if you can see any difference. I don't think you're gonna be able to. It's kind of dark out here right now. I'm sitting in the shade, really just enjoying this weather. Let me see if I can see any difference. Yeah, absolutely. The sherry cask, you probably saw it too, right? The sherry cask is way darker. All right. Super excited about this. Didn't drink this for weeks. Just been trying to save a little bit of it to drink it with this Cognac. Oh my gosh. So this has the cornucopia of fruit. This just has bright red, like the reddest grape, the sweetest, reddest grape, ripest, just in your face, extremely fruity, like cherries and grapes and like red apple skin. Oh, and with the cigar, oh wow, that is something else. That is really something else. I mean, wow. I just don't see how you ever go wrong. I mean, I think I've had other sherry cask bourbon, but I can't remember if they were stave finished bourbons or if they were actual sherry cask bourbons. But man, well, I mean, it was a no-brainer from the beginning, but the sherry cask wins. The sherry cask always wins. So I've talked about this in my other videos, but I think they're repurposing. I think they're repurposing these Thomas S. Moores and calling them 1792 because 1792 seems to have a better sort of appeal upon the masses than Thomas S. Moore. Thomas S. Moore maybe seems a little stuffy. The guy pictured on the back of the label, if you look the bottles up, he looks a little stuffy. He's just an old white guy with glasses. They may be taking some of this juice and put it, labeling it 1792. If you see a 1792 sherry cask, just jump over people to get to it because it's going to be the hottest bourbon around. Because it's basically this. Well, the one I just put down on the ground. It's basically that. Yeah, it smells really good. See that wax? I don't know if I showed you guys that wax real good earlier. I was really excited to get this cigar open and lit. It's gimmicky, but it's cool. I like the black wax. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so this cigar is doing that thing where the ash isn't tight. You can see it's just falling. It's like snowing. And in front of me, it's all over the table. No big deal. It's just little things, you know? Some people really care about the ash being tight. Other people would go, who gives a shit? It's just falling on the table. All right, so we got 2 cigar bands here. I'm not gonna bother showing you the GURKHA cigar band up close. That one everybody's seen before. I've shown them dozens of times on my channel, but here's the bourbon cigar band. So Private Selection, Hartfield and Company, a Bourbon County distillery. And it is a Kentucky distillery as well, which was kind of important to me. This isn't from Iowa or Colorado or New York or other places that I'm just not a real super big fan of the particular bourbon that comes out of those regions. It's nothing personal against those distillers, but I'm just a Kentucky, Tennessee guy. All right, let me take my last sip of sherry cask, maybe drinking that after the camera goes off, who knows? Oh my gosh, that is just something else, man. It really is. Back to the cognac. Do them in different orders. Notice I did cognac first last time, then sherry. Did sherry now, cognac second. Come on, cognac, keep up. You got this. It's good. It's definitely good. It's definitely worth it. Definitely. I'm having trouble saying this. Like, I don't want to say this because I don't think it's actually necessarily true. But if you like cognac, my problem is I'm not a really seasoned cognac drinker. I used to drink cognac, drink Hennessy, primarily back in the day, mixed with soda. But that's not drinking cognac. That's drinking cognac and soda. So for me to sit here and say, oh, it's loaded with cognac flavors, would be tough for me to say that, because I don't know for sure that that's true. So I think it's good. My best assessment of it is it's good. It's not as good as the sherry or the Chardonnay somehow, but it's all personal taste. I mean, I've never seen these bottles in bars. It'd be nice to be able to go to a bar and, you know, try a pour of the ones you want. You know, especially if you're a cognac person, if you like cognac, or maybe you're a Chardonnay person, and you like, you know, but maybe these would be good on the rocks. Definitely not a rocks guy, but yeah, this cigar is definitely struggling to stay lit, which for fast smokers like me isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I also don't want to be able, I should be able to talk for 2 minutes and the cigar shouldn't go out. In case anybody cares too, I've been a Pink Floyd fan since I was a little kid. First concert I ever saw was at the old Giants Stadium in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Giants football, you know, New York Giants football stadium. I think they tore the whole thing down and built a new one now. It's probably a parking lot where it used to be. But in the 90s, I saw the Division Bell. No, the Pulse tour, which had a big influence of the Division Bell. There was an album they released called Pulse, and it was a combination. Basically, it was a lot of their old stuff, of course. You know, people want to hear the stuff from the 70s, whatever, 60s, 70s. And then their new album at the time was the Division Bell, which people hate on, but Marooned is the name of a song. I think it's track 4 on the Division Bell, and it's like my second favorite Pink Floyd song. What's funny about that too is Have a Cigar by Pink Floyd. When I was a younger man, that was my favorite Pink Floyd song. But I didn't smoke cigars then. Like, I had smoked a cigar here and there, but Have a Cigar was my favorite Pink Floyd song. It just spoke to me. And as I got older, their best song is Time. You got to listen to the words. I know, and I'm an old guy, but Time is their best song, and that's my favorite song by them. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The first concert I saw in my life was Pink Floyd, and it was Pulse, but it was heavily influenced by Division Bell. But the Pulse concert, they did perform Time. They did like Time, Money, Comfortably Numb, Run Like Hell, all their big hits, and then as well as some stuff from the Division Bell, and that's when people went to the bathroom. But I won't say who I was there with. I was very young. I think it was 11 or 12. Yeah, I think it was 11 or 12. So you couldn't take alcohol into the stadium for the concert, but you could take food, which is interesting. So the people that I was with took a watermelon and like cut trenches into it, like almost like plugs. Like you would like cut with a knife and then pull a section out that was like a long, thin section. Not thin, but like a cork section, like a round plug section. And then they took vodka bottles. This is a trick for all you kids out there. I'm sure nobody's watching it, but you take the vodka bottle and you would stick it into the watermelon upside down like this. And watermelon, as wet as it is, you know, as much water is in it, it will still absorb liquid. And so slowly over an hour or two or whatever it was, the watermelon sucked the vodka out of the bottles. And so now you had a vodka soaked watermelon with the rind on. I mean, it was, and then you just take the plugs, the things you cut out, you know, whether it was two, I think it was two of them. I think they put 2/5 into it, and you put the plugs back in, and then you just walk. I don't know, this was the 90s, so shit was different then. You can't do any of that now. And they just walked into the concert with a watermelon. And I just remember being 11 or 12. I'd have to look it up. My memory, we've talked about my memory on this channel. But I remember eating a piece of watermelon and then being literally trashed at that age. Again, I won't throw the family members that took me to that concert under the bus. But yeah, underage drinking. It's fun, isn't it? We're breaking all kinds of rules in this video. I'm sure we'll get a copyright thing for this. And I mean, 3 different bottles of booze and a cigar with booze in it, and all the talking about underage drinking and booze, and I'm sure this video will get a strike. Hopefully not. Which brings me to my next topic, which is strikes on videos and people having trouble on videos and all the disclaimers people put on their videos. And is this a thing that we're gonna let happen to us, guys? Are we gonna allow this system to shut us down like that? Isn't this the land of the free? I don't hang this flag behind me for no reason. We got to take a stand here against this kind of stuff. This is called freedom of speech, last time I checked, right? I mean, as long as your video isn't marketed or towards underage, you know, last time I checked, you have to be 21 to smoke cigars and 21 to drink. So why are we being censored, essentially, on our videos? I mean, I've been lucky so far that my channel's so small that nobody gives a shit about me. Nobody's really cared to... I've gotten some things on my videos that say, you know, not for underage, but it never was for underage. I don't think any content creator, at least ones that I've gotten to know through YouTube, you know, and messaging and things like that, there's nobody creating content for children. No one's encouraging anyone to do anything they don't want to do who's not an adult. You know, I'm sure there's people that watch my channel that don't even, actually I know it because they leave comments and they say I'm smoking a cigarette or I'm drinking Sprite or I had somebody say the other day I don't drink or smoke anything because I care about my health. That's fair. I don't think you understand spirits and cigars fully if you're worried about your health. But I mean, I guess just like, you know, anything else, you'd be better off served to just stay away from all of it. Of course, smoking cigars isn't healthy. Of course, drinking alcohol isn't healthy. But there is mental and physical, but more mental things that go into cigars than anything else. Smoking a cigar by yourself or with a friend or with 10 friends, whatever, but smoking a cigar and relaxing, stress is like one of the biggest killers. You know, I get the health aspects of things. Like, you want to be healthy, you want to live a long life. Sure, I think we all do. I don't think anybody here is looking to die young. But you have to also enjoy yourself, and you also have to find a release. It's something that you can sit back and relax and do. We do no relaxing anymore. Everything is so fast-paced. You know, it's the scrolling, it's the video, and you hear me in the beginning of this video, and I know that there's 3 people here right now, and hopefully you 3 people will benefit from this video / message. But it's just on to the next one, on to the next one. What's new, what's new, what's new, what's new. There's no relaxing anymore. And life is so fast paced, and as I get older, it just goes so quick. You know, it's middle of September right now. The year is almost 3/4 of the way over. And it feels like, to me, like the year was just started. You know, and that's a perception that we have, that people have, and if you can perceive it differently, then you're winning. But everyone is just, what's next, what's next, what's next, and it's like cradle to the grave. Like, you're just on to the next thing, and that's move on, move on, move on. You know, you're in a concert, looking on your phone, trying to figure out what the next concert you're going to go to is. Put your phone in your pocket and watch the concert and be in the moment and feel it. Breathe in. Like Pink Floyd says, breathe in the air. Try to be in the moment. Even me in these videos, right? I'm not going to do these videos forever. I'm just not. Because these videos take a lot to make. They started as I flipped the camera on and I had the camera up my nose. You know, if you watch my earlier videos, the camera's up my face. They're 3 minutes long, 6 minutes long. I would just turn the camera on when I was out here, you know, smoking a cigar. I didn't even incorporate spirits, whiskeys into my videos in the beginning. But now, the amount of setup and prep and planning to make a video, it's a lot. You know, you're talking about a literal hour setup. And this is just some dude on YouTube with a stupid little channel that barely anybody sees, taking an hour of my time just to get set up out here. The nice thing is I do enjoy the relaxation of making the video. But I doubt I'll do this forever. Even if my channel someday became monetized, and I mean, I would have to have some serious motivation to keep making videos over and over. I mean, it's just not going to happen. There's too many cigars to smoke, and there's too many whiskeys. I mean, I'm not going to get through them all. It's never going to be an accomplishment per se. It started as just a relaxing thing I do, and it still is, but it's like everything else is just morphing into more and more and more and more, and it gets to be a lot. Forget about the cost too. Everybody, you know, a lot of people with minor channels like mine talk about the cost, and you should, you know, email these cigar companies and whiskey companies and, you know, ask them to send you free stuff. It's just really not my style. Yeah, the other thing that's really not my style is other platforms. You know, I like YouTube. I always did. I've been on YouTube since YouTube started, and I didn't have a channel then. I was on other people. I had an account on YouTube, and I would just watch other people's stuff. It was all mostly video game stuff, and then that's how I got into YouTube, was making video game content, mostly when COVID started. And I produced, you know, produce is even a ballsy statement, right? I just made videos of video games, and without even no commentary on them. I just posted videos of me playing video games. And some of them people really liked. I've got a video called Abigail Wants It Bad on my channel that has like 90,000 views or something. It's tasty. It's real tasty. It's not killer, but it's tasty. Definitely worth drinking. Worth trying, worth drinking. So if you're still here, again, thank you. I'm only thanking you because we're sharing this moment together. You know, you're being here watching my videos doesn't help me. My channel's never been monetized and probably never will be. I love that I don't have to do an advertisement. I love that I don't have to, you guys don't have to sit through a commercial or skip an ad on my channel. I prefer it be that way. This isn't how I make money, obviously. Now, don't get me wrong either though. If someone sends me a cigar, which has happened before, I appreciate that tremendously because again, that takes effort. Forget what the cigar costs. Maybe you send me a $5 cigar, maybe you send me a $25 cigar. It's the effort. You took the time to actually care enough to send a cigar and physically take the time to put it in a package and mail it. That's a great, like that's a really great thing that people do for each other. I see it all the time. I watch other people's videos. People will say, so-and-so sent me this cigar, shout out to them. If anybody sends me a cigar, I'll do the same thing. Shout your channel out. I might make a video some point soon where I just talk about all the channels that I'm into, all the cigar channels I'm into, and give them all shout outs. Even if it gets each one subscriber. You know, if that's what people are looking for, subscribers, you know, how could that be a bad thing? I'm gonna pour a little bit more of this in a glass, or in the glass. I wanna talk to you guys about something my friend does too. He showed me this. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm gonna show it to you guys. Show it to the two people that are left watching this. So, you know how they like smoke old fashions, stuff like that. You go to a bar. Let's clean up a little bit. So you go to a bar and they'll smoke an old fashioned. You know, and again, back to the gimmicky thing, but he did this and I thought this was kind of cool. You should try this. Especially if you're hanging out with friends or something, it's kind of cool. So you puff a cigar, and I've dipped the end of the cigar in my whiskey before. That's old news, right? So my friend showed me that. And he said he was just messing around one night. He was probably drunk or something, and he did that. And he said, believe it or not, you can actually taste it. So let's see if he's right. You can certainly smell it. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can definitely taste it. Yeah, my friend Luke taught me that. You can definitely taste the smoke. You know, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe, you know, you'd obviously smoke and it doesn't make a difference, but it's kind of neat. It looks cool. Looks like a science experiment, like in a lab of like Dr. Frankenstein. It looks pretty cool. You know, just fun stuff. Yeah, you can really, and what's crazy about this one, because this is that bourbon rolled cigar, I can't say infused because it's not infused. Or is it? Or is it infused? I don't know. But anyway, you can really taste it in the glass because of the bourbon cigar. It's pretty cool. Getting into the final third. I would say we're losing a little. I'd say we're losing a little of that cereal sweetness in here. It's turning into a kind of just an average Connecticut cigar. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Again, you know, minus the glass tube and the bourbon situation, it's a $7-8 cigar, $7 cigar, $7. But it's good. You know, I don't know what these are online because, like I said, I got this in my local cigar lounge, or not lounge. You can't smoke in there. Local cigar store. It's a cigar. Damn, the hell's the name of it? I keep saying Cigar Page, but that's the online one. Wow. Boy, some of us need notes. My memory is just something else. Boy, I wish I could remember that. So look up cigar stores in Wyomissing. It starts with the word cigar. It's cigar something. It's just 2 words. Cigar... No, I just said that. It's not that. Cigar line, cigar... I'll leave it in the description. Although I don't think they do online ordering, so you would have to go to it anyway. So unless you're in, you know, Berks County, Pennsylvania, in Wyomissing, you know, that's the borough in Berks County, you're not really going to get there. So this thing has, you know, kind of fixed itself. I didn't do any touch-ups. It is still not even, but it's burning just fine. It still has that messy ash that I talked about quite a bit. It's just kind of a flowery ash where it just kind of just goes like this, you know, it's exploding. It's an exploding ash, essentially. All right, let's put this down for a second, even though it's probably gonna want to go out. Yeah, leave me comments. If you wake up in the middle of the night, you think of something, leave me a comment. I love reading people's comments. It's like one of my favorite things. Even comments that could be considered sort of negative. People leave me negative comments. You know, the one person left me a comment and said you shouldn't smell a cigar before you light it. That's ridiculous. That's insane. Who wouldn't smell a cigar before they light it? That's crazy land. That's like saying don't do a cold draw or a retro inhale. I mean, those are all part of a cigar smoking experience. Yeah, tobacco and like a grainy cereal. The sweetness is kind of gone in the last third. It's fine. It's a fine cigar. It's nothing crazy good. This and the bourbon kind of match. Neither one of them is anything crazy. Certainly nothing bad here. Just nothing crazy. Straight cut was perfect on here. I haven't gotten a single piece of tobacco in my mouth the whole time. I just basically cut the cap off the end of it, which I think is the intention. You know, if you're gonna do a straight cut, that would be the most ideal. Don't be like that guy at the tailgate and just think you can cut a cigar. I mean, I think everybody knows that at this point, but apparently not everybody knows that. Apparently there's one guy, and again, I don't, you know, nothing against that guy, but bro, just V-cut or punch it if you don't know how to straight cut it. It's just the easiest way to cut a cigar, in my opinion, is the V-cut. I just wanted a straight cut today. And this is the best lighter. The best lighter to have is a lighter with a V-cutter in it. You know, whether it's 1, 2, 3, you know, torches, you know, flames, but get a lighter with a V-cutter in it. Take this with you. You can V-cut cigars and light cigars with it. It's the easiest way to roll. You can V-cut any cigar, whether it's a you know, a torpedo, which would be ideal, box press cigar, or this kind of cigar. You can easily V-cut it. Appreciate you guys being here. I hope you got something out of this video. I know I sure did. Spending an hour, you know, a couple times a week doing this, once a week doing this is worth it for me. So thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.